Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. Today we have more Reid Detmers stuff, trade deadline news, and emoji tears right now.
9 Plus Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I am your captain. My name is Brad, and joining us on this voyage, as usual, is our co-captain, Brig. Welcome, Brig.
I got promoted. I love being co-captain. Well, hi, Brad.
How are you today, Brig?
Man, I am hanging in there, man. How are you?
Good. I'm hanging in there as well. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
I'll get over it. There's 3 more games in this series, and I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Life will continue to move on. The Mariners will continue to be in the wild card race, and it's fine.
And that was the sound an ellipsis makes for those of you with journalism degrees.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But anyways, let's get on with this because we have a lot to get into today because the trade deadline is less than 12 hours away from when we're recording this. Actually, less than 24 hours away. We're probably 36 hours. Something like that. But
right
anyway,
there, yeah.
Yeah, we're coming up on it pretty close. There's a lot of movement today. Very exciting. But first, Brig, the 42nd National Sports Collectors Convention was held over the weekend, July 27th through the 31st at the Atlantic City Convention Center. Tell me about this, Brig. I want to know.
This is where everybody gets together and buys and sells trading cards and signed sports memorabilia and pictures and all that kind of stuff, as the name might suggest. However, some of the fun facts I pulled out of this that I thought were really fun, and then I'll let you keep talking about other stuff, but this I really got excited to talk about. Almost 150 different athletes showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, all kinds of celebrity athletes, right? Doesn't matter whether they're current, former, blah, 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 right? But over 150 or almost 150 of them showed up, and they were at the autograph pavilion. So they have their own special VIP area where they do autographs at this convention. Okay. More than 20 of those 150 athletes who showed up to autograph memorabilia that day. Baseball family, you know we dig some memorabilia, right?
That's right.
Of the 150 celebrities that showed up, 20 or more were pricing their signatures at $30 or less.
That's pretty good.
Pretty reasonable. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to jump in and get a ticket to next year, I think they just signed a long-term deal where they're going to do it again in Atlantic City, like next year, maybe the next 2 years, something like that. But it's the same time every year. Now, so the low end would be $30 or cheaper for these autographs, right?
Right.
Let's swing all the way up to the top end.
Did they say who it was first off?
Yes. I have a list of top 10 most expensive one-time autographs from this convention, and I thought it was really interesting. So if you walked into a convention, Brad, and you're like, I saw my guy's name on a list, or I saw her name on a list, or whatever it is, and you really, really wanted to get your photograph, ball, hat, whatever signed, how much would you pay? And who would it have to be from? You're going to stand in line for a long, long time. You're going to have a smattering of a conversation that's basically going to be sound bites, and you're going to walk away. You're going to pay for this, but you're going to get a signature, and it's authenticated as far as I'm aware.
Now, I do have to say this. The big one for me, I already have. Thanks to you, sir. I have to give credit where it's due. That's Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
I might pay upwards of like $200 or something like that for maybe Randy Johnson or Ichiro or even Jay Buhner, somebody or like Edgar Martinez.
Yeah.
Somebody like that.
Now this list includes more than just baseball, but there are some very famous baseball names on there. The number 10 is Adrian Peterson, and tied with Barry Sanders. And those signatures will cost you $175.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. That's tied for number 10.
Yeah.
Now, number 5 is Emmitt Smith. Number 6 is Joe Montana. Emmitt Smith's signature cost you $235 at this event. Still reasonable. Let's move all the way up.
Hold on real quick, because if you get if you have a Cowboys helmet, you have Emmitt Smith sign it, it's worth way more than that.
Oh, yeah.
You could sell it for way more than that on eBay.
100%. Totally agree with you. But people don't, some people go to these conventions to sign them and sell them, for sure.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
However.
That's why they charge you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's move up because the top 2 in the top 10 are tied for number 1 slot, and they are both baseball players. They both charged $300 for their signatures.
It's one of them Pete Rose.
No.
Then I have no idea, honestly.
Mariano Rivera.
Wow.
And David Ortiz.
Now, I got to tell you, because I was really shocked when you said Mariano Rivera, because that does not seem like a Mo move, right?
It doesn't.
However,
I would agree with you.
However, I do think that is definitely a big Poppy move.
Oh, yeah.
And I bet you Poppy was like, dude, come on. You got to charge more than that for this.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he was in his ear telling him, you got to charge way more than $30 for your autograph, because it's worth way more than that.
For sure. Totally. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Another name on the list is Floyd Mayweather, $249. Odell
I'm surprised
Beckham
he
Jr.
wasn't at $300.
Yeah, exactly. Odell
that
Beckham
dude's all
Jr.
about
is at
vengeance.
$199. Ray Lewis was there, $180. Julius Erving, $179. Just I thought it was interesting. But yeah, the best part about this was that the 2 most expensive were baseball players, which shows you what the market is doing for baseball memorabilia over these football, basketball, etc. That's cool. That's what I thought was the coolest. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Okay, there you are.
I think one of these years, Brig, we might need to make a trip.
Let's go do that thing.
Yeah, let's do it. It'll be fun.
I agree.
All right, now you need to tell us about Aaron Judge, your guy.
Oh, man.
Because he's hitting the cover off the ball.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
So he has over 4, so he's his 43rd tonight, I think, as we speak. That
game
puts
just
him
ended 7-2 Yankees over the Mariners. Yep.
Okay. So that was his 42nd homer this season, was his 200th career home run. So now he's at 201 career, 43 on the season. His 42nd, though, is memorable because of its number 200 significance, which is fabulous. Mm-hmm. That was his 12th homer in 14 games, which is astronomical. Like you've been saying, if you're going to bet on anything, put money down on Aaron Judge hitting a home run. You're going to lose a couple of times, but more often than not, you're going to win that. You're going to get some money out of that if you can get some good odds on it. Anyway, so this is significant too. This is the most homers franchise history. This is the most homers through August, or until August, rather. Sorry. 1928 Babe Ruth had 41 homers before August 1st. So by one home run, he already outpaced the Babe. Pretty cool. And then finally, what everybody's tracking is the Roger Maris record, set in 1961 with 61 home runs. He, as of tonight, after the game is ended, and if you're listening to this on August 2nd in the morning in your commute, thank you very much. That puts him on pace for 67 total on the season, if he maintains.
That's a lot, first off. Second, that's crazy because he's gone on stretches where he hasn't hit homers.
Or anything.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Which is crazy to think about, that the Yankees went on that terrible stretch of the early part of the season where you were saying that Rome isn't burning, but it smells like smoke, and Judge was not playing particularly well then either.
Yeah,
right?
No.
The fact that he's on that pace, he's gone on such a tear since then. Could you imagine if he had been consistent all season?
Oh, no. So he's only 6. If he hits 67, the record is 73.
Right. He could get there. I do think he's going to hit a lull probably the beginning of September.
Agreed.
That he's going to slow down, and I maintain that he will probably end with 62 or 63. I think I said that before.
My money's on 64.
Yep.
I've been saying it for a while. I still believe. I'm saying 64, but again, I have mixed feelings about whether it should happen or not. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Right. So, okay, let's talk about Reid Detmers for a minute. Talk about somebody said an up and down roller coaster season. Like, dude throws a no-hitter, right? Yeah. And then he goes and he gets optioned down to AAA.
Yeah.
Stays there for a few weeks. And then the Angels are like, whatever. At this point, it doesn't matter. Let's bring him on back up.
Yeah.
We're losing every game anyway. We might as well bring up our hero and promote him and make money off of him this season.
Yeah.
So
get some guys,
he comes back up and he throws an immaculate inning. He is the third pitcher, count him 3, in Major League Baseball history to throw a no-hitter and an immaculate inning in the same season. He did this in the second inning against the Rangers on Sunday. That's something else. Like, it's so funny. For those of you who don't know what an immaculate inning is, an immaculate inning is when you get out of the inning with 3 up, 3 down, 9 strikes, 9 pitches. You cannot have any 4 pitch at bats, obviously. Like, you
can't have any.
It doesn't count if you have somebody foul a ball off and have a 4 pitch at bat, and then the next guy grounds out on the second pitch. That doesn't count. It's got to be 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. That is an immaculate inning. For those of you who don't know, and it feels like it would happen a whole lot more, but it doesn't. It hardly ever happens.
Yeah, it's not often.
It's crazy to think about that. You just can't get a pitcher out there to just throw 9 strikes because the hitters are so good that they'll hit them.
Yeah,
big deal. Because I caught an immaculate inning one time in high school, and I'm not gonna. None of it. I had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. In fact, before we started, it was the last inning of the game. I went up and I talked to the pitcher. I said, "Hey, I got a migraine coming. I can't see. Just throw fastballs down the middle, and we'll get out of this." He's like, "All right, dude." He piped 9 fastballs, blew them all by these guys, and we got on the bus and headed home. And we were just like, "Well, shoot, we should have just been doing that the whole game. We'd have been out of here in what 7 times, 63 pitches."
Yeah,
throw 63 fastballs, and we'd be going home with a shutout. Perfect game.
So what's interesting about this as well, you say it doesn't happen very often. This is only the 3rd immaculate inning thrown in Angels history.
3rd for an Angel?
Yep.
Wow.
And
that's
according
impressive.
to this article that I just read, they've all 3 of them have occurred in the 2nd inning. What are the freaking odds of that?
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So it's Nolan Ryan against Boston and Garrett Richards in Houston in 2014 and 1972, and then again this year. They've all 3 ever in the history of the franchise, and they've all been in the 2nd inning. What is that?
Now, that one against the Astros in 2014, the thing that's funny about that is that you think about that team, because I can think back on the Astros back in 2014. It was a terrible team. And in the 2nd inning, you're at the middle towards the bottom of the lineup. And of a really bad team, really bad hitters, you're going to – I mean, it's like, who was it earlier this year who threw 2 in one game? Or they had 2 pitchers do it in one game?
Padres back-to-back pitchers. Was it the Padres?
I think it
was the Rangers.
I'll have to look.
I can't remember. While you're doing that, let me tell you that there have only been, let's see, there were 62 immaculate innings thrown through 2009. This is 43 since then. So what is that? 105, 6? I don't do math.
I don't know. But
so
get this. Yeah. It was the Astros. It was Luis Garcia and Phil Matone who threw immaculate innings in the same game against the Rangers. Free swinging down in Arlington.
Oh, every time. For sure.
That's too funny.
Especially when Joey Gallo gets there, but we're saving that as well. What?
Hell.
Somebody take him away. All right.
He wants somebody to take him away.
He's
My
done.
goodness.
He's at
Dude,
it. Okay.
he's so
My
bad right now.
gosh.
All right, let's talk about Austin Riley. Austin Riley got a bag. Dude got a bag
he's got
today.
It's like Scrooge McDuck. He's like if he's not swimming in his gold coins, something is
Needs
wrong.
a money bin. So we don't have it in our notes. Let me look it up real quick what he got, because you actually have something else on here about July. So talk about his July real quick.
Oh yeah.
And
I'll
find
this justifies the bag of money he got. That's why I put this in there. He's got an MVP caliber July going on. So, and it all has to do with extra base hits, which I think is so much better anyway, because we love production baseball, right? We love small ball. We love contact hits, get on base, steal a base, etc. So Hank Aaron held the franchise record in Atlanta for 25 extra base hits just in July. We're just talking about July. And then this season, Austin Riley broke that with 26. So if he wins the MVP, he'd be only the third MVP, or excuse me, I'm sorry. He'd be the first Atlanta third baseman to win MVP since Chipper Jones did it in 1999. And his 1.344 OPS just through July puts him at the second best monthly mark, if you have a minimum of 90 plate appearances, of any Brave ever. He's the second best ever. He's through the month of July. But if you break that out and you say any 30-day period with a minimum of 90 at-bats, he's still in the top 5 Braves ever since 1951 to record 26 extra base hits in any month of the season with a minimum of 90 at-bats. So that's why this bag of money showed up on his doorstep. That's why. Okay, go ahead.
So he got 10 years, $212 million, which his AAV, his average annual value, is considerably lower than some of the other deals we've seen. But the 10 years, that's what these guys want. They wouldn't give Freddie Freeman 6?
6 or 7. It was
and
the
they
6.
I think it was 6.
Yeah.
And they gave Austin Riley 10?
Yeah. At third base?
Man, like, I understand that. I get it. Like, they tried to deal for Matt Olson last season, right?
Yep.
But you've got a known, right? You've got a guy who's comfortable in the market in Freddie Freeman. And, like, don't get me wrong, Matt Olson's having an incredible season.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's having the season that we kind of expected him to be having in Oakland, which is weird that he gets out of the small dinky market and then goes somewhere else where it's more expectation to win and perform, and he does.
Yep. Yeah.
So I mean,
His
I get
first time
scale
out.
and everything, but at the same time, like, as a player, I would have been like, man, they're not going to extend our captain. They're not going to bring back our captain. What the heck? But here they are with Austin Riley paying that dude, and he's earned it. You just talked about it. He's earned it, and he was a huge reason they won the World Series last year.
But so was Freddie.
Reason, but so was Freddie.
I'm still stuck on it, man. The whole Freddie Freeman thing,
It's weird, dude.
I can't wait for the memoir to come out from both sides. We're going to get the Freddie Freeman one in 12 plus years, 10 or 12 years, and we're going to get 10 years or less, we're going to get the Freddie Freeman one, 12 maybe. And then we're going to get the franchise, the organization will speak in 20.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
There's going to be a 30 for 34. That's what's going to happen, because we're going to find out that there's all kinds of drama behind the scenes.
Yes, there needs to be.
And maybe what Acuna said about how they weren't sad to see him go, like, maybe that had something to do with it. They were like, well, the guys in clubhouse don't like love the dude, so there's that. But I don't know.
But we talked to Samson about it, and he said that's not a thing when it comes to making the business decision. But then we talked to Jim Edmonds, and he said it's a huge deal. I'm confused.
Well, let's compare.
The players aren't making the business decisions, though.
Right, but we could compare at the same time, though, the success of one team to another.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's that.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So, all right, moving on.
Moving on.
Brothers-in-law playing baseball. We got Jose Barrios and Javi, the Magic Man Baez, facing off against each other, and they are brothers-in-law. Their wives are sisters. Did you know that, Brig? That's how this relationship
That's how
goes?
it worked out. Yeah.
Lots of fun. Too cool. I love when family faces off. I don't care if you're in-laws, outlaws, brothers, sisters, whatever. I think it's fun when family faces off because there's like an extra layer to it.
Yeah.
And one of them gets to come away with something, right?
Yeah.
Like there is something going on or something beyond that. Like Javi Baez can go to the dinner table in like November or December and say, hey, remember that time I owned you in Toronto? Because but first off, they had this amazing at bat. It was like it's probably like 7 or 8 pitches, maybe 10. I lost track. Javi was hitting deep foul balls or long strikes, as we like to call them.
Long strikes. Yeah.
And then finally on ball 3, he thought he'd drawn a walk. Had him come back.
Full count.
He did draw the walk on full count. But
yeah,
it was awesome. It was a great at bat.
2 home runs missed by like 18 inches.
Maybe.
Yeah. One of them hit. I don't think any of them hit the pole, but it was close.
Well, no, because if they hit the pole, they're a home run.
Right. Yeah.
But they were really close. I mean, there was one where Javi was basically petitioning that it was a fair
pointing
ball.
at it. Yeah. Like that scene in that baseball documentary we love, right?
That's
stay
right.
fair. Go foul. Go foul. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, very similar. Very similar. Speaking of Javi Baez, Brig, do you want to tell the people about Dia del Mago?
Yes. So, baseball family, every year on August 15th, we celebrate Dia del Mago. This is in honor of my late wife and in honor of Javi Baez. And we get an opportunity to celebrate her favorite player and have a lot of fun. This is where our Copa series comes to play on the shop. So you can jump on the shop at 9plusus.com and jump in there. You can grab yourself some Dia del Mago stuff with their sugar skulls on it. But we just love it. It's August 15th every year, Dia del Mago. We celebrate the Magic Man himself. And this is a callback to when I interviewed Tiffany and I asked her, I said, if you could set up your own baseball holiday, like what would it be? What holiday do we need in baseball that we don't already have? She says, Dia del Mago.
Awesome.
So I said, when would that be? She's like, well, he's the hottest player in baseball. And he's, the Magic Man. He's on fire all the time. So let's do it the hottest part of the year, August 15th. That was really hilarious. So anyway, that's where it comes from. And we have a lot of fun with Dia del Mago.
So keep an eye out for discounts on those hats.
Correct, sir.
Let's talk about injuries real quick, and then we'll take a break. Okay. Now, first off, in Atlanta, sorry, Brig, I think we talked about you starting. I'm going to go ahead and start. So in Atlanta, you've still got Ozzie Albies out with the foot. He's expected to be out until at least August 19th. Can you imagine how dangerous this team is going to be when he gets back?
Bro, no, it's going to be ugly.
They could be the first team to repeat in this century.
They could.
Because they're scary right now. They're scary. But that's really their big one. You still got Adam Duvall. You got Adam Duvall out for the season. That was actually from just this weekend they updated that. And then Mike Soroka is expected to come back in September. He could because he retore that Achilles at the beginning of the year. If I'm a Braves fan, I'm like, put him in the pen and have him be nails from there because I don't want him starting and being out there any longer than he has to be. But, man, having that dude as a setup man or a closer, it's trouble.
Total trouble.
Yep. All right.
Let's move on to Boston. I'm going to jump all the way down to Boston because they're on a historically bad stretch. And while that brings me a certain amount of joy, it also brings me a tremendous amount of pain because it degrades the overall product that we have on the field. And honestly, it takes away from the competition. But at the end of the day, I still like to see guys getting hurt. I don't care who you play for. So a couple of noteworthy ones. Rafael Devers expected to be back tomorrow morning or this morning if you're listening in the morning with a hamstring thing. It was kind of a one-day deal. We'll see how that goes. The big one is Trevor Story. He's got a wrist injury. Didn't they say it was a hairline fracture, stress fracture, something like that? They're still trying to figure out what it is. So he's not expected back till the 23rd at the earliest of August. It's not really going to matter at that point, depending on. I mean, some things would have to be nuts for any of this to matter for the Red Sox. But this gets into their trade, play, because Christian Vasquez got traded, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But he got traded tonight,
right before the game,
he
playing against
literally
Houston. Got
walked
traded
in.
to Houston.
Yes, he walked into Minute Maid Park and basically walked to the other clubhouse. It was insane. You should see, if you haven't, the interview. They pulled him out on the field. He was warming up, ready for the game, to get ready for the game, and dude was in shock. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. It was insane.
Yeah. Somebody asked him about it. They're like, how's it feel to get traded? He didn't know what to say.
Yep.
Business,
and then Chris Sale, his finger's still broken. September 15th at the earliest. So
that dude cannot catch a break.
I feel so bad.
I'm going to jump on down to the Chicago White Sox real quick. We got Joe Kelly is out with biceps injury. I think it was biceps tendonitis. So that's just a rest injury. Come back and he should be fine. Luis Robert is out with a concussion. I believe they're expecting him to be out at least until Wednesday. He could come back after that. But honestly, if I'm the White Sox, I'm like, dude, just rest up and get healthy as long as you need, because that sucks so bad. So bad. The Mariners saw Kyle Lewis out for like a month with a concussion.
Yeah.
So
it's terrible.
Do whatever it takes to get back.
This is not the team I'm picking to talk about, but Chris Bryant is still out. The end. Okay.
It's been out all year.
I know.
It's got like 5 at bats?
Something like that.
Might take the under on that.
Houston. I'm going to jump down to Houston. The Lance McCullers, he is expected back August 12th. That's a big fat rut row, but it is a forearm. So if we're not really careful, then we might not be able to have Lance McCullers even through September. We don't know. That's just one of the things that leads to big time elbow stuff, is what they call it, forearm. Other than that, they're pretty good. Michael Brantley is expected back August 15th as well, but honestly, nobody's really worried about the rest of Houston.
Yeah. So the Dodgers have significant injuries. Like, they've got like a whole laundry list that's taking up almost my entire screen here. Got Dustin May coming back from Tommy John. They're thinking he's going to be out at least until August 12th. He could come back. If he comes back for the home stretch, look out. Same thing with Walker Buehler, is expected to be out at least until the middle of September. If they get him back for a postseason run, Dodgers will be dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
Those are both big time. Chris Taylor is expected to come back next week. Justin Turner is expected to be out until at least the middle of this week. That's an abdominal injury. So I feel like those can be tricky. Like, he might come back and then find out that it's not quite ready. So that's something to keep an eye on with Justin Turner. But at the same time, though, it seems like the Dodgers have really figured things out recently.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. Maybe they just tell those guys, take your time getting healthy, because we're good for now.
What a life. Okay. How it must be nice. That's all I have to say.
Must be freaking nice.
Must be freaking nice. Milwaukee's biggest one, at least as far as I'm concerned, is Freddie Peralta. He's still expected to be back August 5th, but this is a rest injury as well. Do you have anything else in Milwaukee that really bothers you, Brad? I don't.
As far as injuries go?
Yeah.
No, but we can get into that. We'll get into them later, so we'll hold off.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's other things that are related to it, but I just don't want to miss anything.
The Twins have I feel like they have the most injuries out of everybody right now.
Their entire A and B teams are out.
I know. They've got a 40-man roster on the injured list right now.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Kenta Maeda is probably the most notable, though. Honestly, Miguel Sano is out with a knee injury, but that's one of those things where he'll be back. Max Kepler's got a toe injury. That was weird when that happened. But he'll be back soon. But other than that, Carlos Correa's back, so
Yeah.
at that point, I'm just and they've got Buxton has been able to stay healthy. That's the big thing.
Buxton's
I feel like
awesome, dude.
one of the biggest reasons that they've been able to win because that dude's outstanding, absolutely unreal.
So now we got to go down to the Mets because John Curtis is out for the season as he's one of their right-handed pitchers. Both Smiths, Dominic and Drew, are out until August 6th for Dominic, August 17th for Drew. But then James McCann, he should be on his way back. He had an oblique thing July 28th, rather. Should see him back August 4th. This hurt me fantasy-wise, by the way. Jacob deGrom expected not only to come back today on August 2nd, but he's taking the hill on his first day back. So I need this has to be good because he's on my fantasy starting roster as of this morning.
So there's a couple of Yankee injuries. Fill me in if I'm missing anything significant here, though, Brig, because I got Luis Severino, who's supposed to be out until September, middle of September, with a lat injury. That is a big one. Giancarlo Stanton, who's having an outstanding year, by the way.
Yeah.
He found out where Yankee Stadium is, and he hasn't left.
No, he hasn't left.
But he's got an Achilles injury. He's expected to be out until at least August 8th. Do you know anything more about that, Brig, as far as what's going on with him? Have you heard anything from John and Susan, our friends?
No, our friends John and Susan haven't told me anything. I do have an update about John and Susan I'll tell you about later. But
oh, excellent. Very good. I'm looking forward to it.
Ultimately, no. No still Parlos in the Bronx right now, though.
No, definitely not.
Problem.
Nope. But I mean, we could go on for days with injuries. Like there are guys who, like Bryce Harper, obviously still out. Yeah. Supposed to be out. It says that he's expected to be out until at least August 20th, but I don't think we're going to see him until September at the earliest. Brian Hayes is out for the Pirates. Probably a big reason, like a big part of their drop to last place in their division because the Reds are no longer in last place in the NL Central. Good for them. Congratulations. Yeah, I want to jump down to Seattle, though, Brig.
Yeah.
The Mariners have got a long list of injuries right now. So Taylor Trammell has been out for a long time. Like for a lot of you, that might not be a significant name, but for Mariners fans, it is because it really cuts into the depth. It's like, oh, beginning of the season, it was like, oh, the outfield is so deep, so deep. Like, what are we going to do? Well, they're all hurt. Every single one of those guys is hurt right now. Like Kyle Lewis is still not fully healed from his knee injury from last year. He goes out there and he hits a home run against Domingo Germán tonight. But at the same time, though, he hits a ball to shortstop and he's basically walking to first base because you can tell his knee's bugging him. So he's DHing. He's not in the outfield. But then you've got Dylan Moore, who left the game the other day with back spasms. Mitch Haniger has played in a handful of games this year because he got COVID and then he rolled his ankle. He should be back next week, I hope. He's finishing up his rehab assignment. Yeah. And that's one of the problems is that Haniger is such a great player. He's a big-time leader on the team, but, man, the dude is hurt so much. Julio Rodriguez got hit in the wrist, and there was no structural damage or anything, but they're going to take a bat out of his hands for a few days because he's he's ambitious. I don't know if that's the word, but it's hard to keep him off the field. You have to protect him from himself, so they actually put him on the IL so he can't do anything.
And then
the
word you're looking for is ambidextrous.
Or amphibious. I don't know.
Amphibious. That's what it was. I was so close. Samsonite.
And then you've got Diego Castillo, who goes out there and he's throwing like 93 in his fastball. It's like, what's going on? Oh, his shoulder is hurt, so he's out until like another couple weeks. Like, man, team has been. Oh, and then Sam Haggerty. This is like one of the funniest injuries I've ever heard of, Brig, in my entire life. So he goes out there and he tries to lay down a bunt against the Astros. And he doesn't get it. He gets 2 strikes on him for some reason. He continues to try to lay down the bunt. He misses, strikes out. Well, he's mad at himself, frustrated. So he goes into the dugout and he spikes his helmet. And anybody who has ever spiked a helmet knows if you hit that thing just right on the crown, it's going to spring right back up at you. And he got hit in the forehead with the helmet and needed stitches.
Oh my God.
So he's on the injury list. He's not on the IL, but he's on the injury list. He's not starting any games right now, but they're like, you can come in like pinch hit if you need to or pinch run.
Yeah.
The dude's fast. Like he's one of the fastest guys in the league, hands
That's
down.
awesome.
So like he can go out there and pinch run, but they're not going to let him start any games right now. And it's funny because I heard that happen, and Jewel, our friend, he's my co-host with the Seattle Baseball Together podcast, he goes, "What happened?" I explained it to him. I was like, "I can tell you exactly how it happened because I've had it happen to me. I have a tiny little scar between my eyes on the bridge of my nose from a helmet
Oh man,
popping back up and hitting me right on the nose.
it's crazy.
So, it could be bad news, Bears.
Let's jump into St. Louis. Is worth talking about really quick because Jack Flaherty's out till August 26th. Yadi Molina with his knee. He's an old guy. That's why it says knee. And he's expected to be back August 2nd today, this morning, whatever. So everything else is fine. Harrison Bader is coming back midway through August. So everything's fine there. Tampa Bay, though, is a MASH unit as well.
Another 40-man roster on the injured list.
It's crazy, including Mike Zunino and Kevin Kiermaier. Those are two names I want you to keep in mind because they're going to come up in just a minute when we talk about trades. But ultimately, those are the two ones that are huge. Obviously, Andrew Kittredge being out for the season since July 27th as well was entirely unexpected and is not good. But this is their fourth player out for the season since the season started, I guess. But three of them occurred in July.
Yeah.
In the last
when Wander Franco is out until toward the end of August with a wrist.
I know. Injury. I had to dump him too. Gosh damn it.
So
it's so bad.
And you know what? I think that it's finally going to catch up with the race.
Yep. This is it.
I think that's it. Yep. Exactly. Well, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk trade deadline stuff, and then we'll get into emoji tiers later after that.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9pluss.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. We're going to get into the trade deadline since the trade deadline is here, and we are, and you are. So let's talk about it. Before we jump into who's gone where already, we're going to do that first, and then we're going to do who's still available, if they're going, where they're going. Right now, Brad, I want to know from you what in the world is happening, because this is the quietest, most understated and muted or whatever trade deadline I've experienced in a while. Do you have an opinion on what the freak is happening here?
I do. I believe what it is teams are waiting for the dominoes to fall after a Soto trade. What I think that's what's been going on. Teams are like, okay, so if Soto goes, then that leaves what teams in need of what?
Yep.
Right?
I agree with you.
So I feel like that's been the big thing, but it seems, honestly, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. There are a couple teams still in the running. I believe it was San Diego and St. Louis were still the top two contenders.
I think
for
so.
Soto.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Hopefully so what's your drop dead date? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what?
Well, I mean, they don't do the waiver. They don't do the waiver anymore.
No. I'm saying if you are a team and you have packages prepped and you're getting ready to see, like, how much time do you give yourself before the deadline, before you snap, freak out, and just make the deals that you need to make, knowing that
if I'm one of the final two teams, I would have moved on by now. I would have given myself 24 hours. So, okay, I've got to make a deal, or I guess I don't have to make a deal, but at this point, you're either going to accept it or you're not. So move on.
Yep. So this is so interesting to me. I would love to sit and hear what Soto wants, what he thinks, how he feels. But he won't talk about it, which I don't blame him. But
Right.
none of this is being discussed, I would imagine, with him really in mind, other than his agent brokering on his behalf. That's it, right?
Well, he doesn't have a choice, though. He doesn't have a no trade
Exactly.
clause. He doesn't have any say in where he goes because all they
Right.
have to do is, like, the thing is that they're just trying not to lose the assets,
Yeah.
miss out on the assets they can get from him. Because if he walks, they get nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you got to know his agent's involved in talking about this and, being sneaky on the side or whatever, little backdoor phone calls. Just don't know how much effect it's having. That's the problem. And maybe
ahead.
what's going on is that they're saying, like, you want to really stick it to Washington? Let's just not move him. Like, you can have him next year. Just wait or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is the thing, is that these teams, the longer the Nats sit on offers, sit and wait on them, his value just drops.
It plummets. Yeah.
It's going to continue to drop because if he doesn't move before the trade deadline this year, then it's like, okay, are you going to move him during the offseason?
Right.
Okay.
That's weird.
Well, you had your chance at this. Say that the Padres are like, we have our top 6 prospects ready to move because we think Soto is worth that. So then the Nats say, no, we don't want your top 6 prospects. We don't think they're good enough. Oh, you don't think they're good enough, huh? Okay. Then we'll come back and talk to you in December with our top 5 prospects.
Yeah. Or number 8, 9, and 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Top 4 and number 10, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's say
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not going to want to trade that because, like, well, you didn't take that in the first place. Then why would we do that? And then there are going to be other teams that are going to come in and say, okay, well, you didn't want this before. What about now? So the value is going to continue to drop. It's going to be lower next year at the trade deadline than it is now, and it'll be because at that point they've got to move. Well, I guess he's got 2 more full seasons.
It's 2 full seasons. So that's what I'm saying. They don't have to do anything.
Right. Yeah, because for a second I was thinking he only had 1 more full season, but that's Castillo. But
the only thing that happens is it hurts other teams' possibilities of making a run with a terrific player.
Right. Yeah.
Everything else is up in the air.
Yeah.
But what I think is interesting is that if he doesn't move, I just feel like the whole market will explode in indignation. Don't you feel that way? Like,
well, so I know that the
know.
Mariners were one of the last 4 teams in on it. And I think it got to the point where they're like, okay, because I think Jerry Dipoto was like, I'm willing to move these 4 prospects. If you don't want them, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he was willing to go in with 4 prospects and maybe a 5th. I bet he offered a 5th for Soto.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think it was Harry Ford. I don't think it was Emerson Hancock. But he did offer his top 4 prospects plus 1 more is what I was going to assume. I don't know anything about it for sure, but I'm just speculating. And then when they didn't take that, he's like, okay, then I'll go somewhere else. So he goes to the Reds and says, hey, you can have our top 4 prospects for Luis Castillo. Boom.
Yep.
Deal done.
Done. Easy.
So for those of you who didn't see, Luis Castillo is a Mariner.
And that is a huge deal because he is rock solid. So let's get into a couple of these that have already happened. You mentioned Luis Castillo, 4 prospects. Andrew Benintendi goes to the Yankees. From the Royals, 3 prospects. David Peralta.
Hold on, Brig. Toot your horn.
Oh.
Toot your horn on that because you called that one.
I did.
Because you said a couple months ago you thought that Benintendi would be a really good fit for the Yankees and would end up there in pinstripes. And sure enough, he did. Nailed it.
Well, I just saw the old Joey Gallo thing. That was how that all came about. I was like, this is not going to go well. It's not going well now. I don't see it changing. Sure enough, it's been the case. And we needed specifically a left fielder. And I looked around and there he was. And that just made all the sense in the world to me. So,
yep.
And then it was hilarious. We got to tease Bill Skibisky a little bit because he posted a satire article from Benny saying like he didn't like the Red Sox anyway. And he's just glad to finally be in pinstripes or whatever. And it was amazing. So thanks, Bill,
funny.
because we all needed that laugh. It was awesome. Okay, let's move on. David Peralta traded from the Diamondbacks to the Rays for a catcher, Christian what Serta, I think is how you say his name.
So I gotta say something about
Jump
this.
in.
So first off, that is a need for the Diamondbacks. They need a catcher because right now they have basically a utility player as their backup catcher. In I'm drawing a total blank on his name right now. I know who he is. I can see him anyway.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like the fan base down here is not going to be is not happy about that David Peralta trade. He is a fan favorite. The dude, every single time he runs out of the dugout out to left field, they do this train thing where they lift, and the whole stadium does it. Not just left field. Everybody
Wow.
does it. They love that dude big time, and the fan base is not going to be happy about that move. Like they're not real happy with the front office anyway because they just haven't put a good team on the field, and they haven't put anybody around Ketel Marte.
No,
and he has not been
tip top, not like a couple years ago, all-star.
Yeah, and I wonder if some of that has to do with just like, what's the point, man? Right?
Yeah, so sad.
So yeah,
but this David Peralta move, that justifies the curiosity about the so what, right? Like, what's the point?
Yeah,
sucks.
Exactly.
Josh Hader moves from the Brew Crew to the Friars. It's a big 5-player deal. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on.
That makes no sense.
Why would you let Josh Hader go? First of all, he's like your all-star closer. And then second of all, to the Padres?
You're going to play him in the playoffs. What are you doing?
I'm so confused. Is it a hair problem? Is there not enough hair care product in Milwaukee? Is the cold weather bad for his follicles or something? I don't understand.
That's so weird. I have no idea what's going on.
It's so stupid.
It is stupid. So stupid. Here's another one I'm trying to figure out, Brig. Trey Mancini was traded from the Orioles to the Astros. What are you doing, Baltimore? Are we literally watching the plot of Major League? I've said this several times this year. Like, are we actually watching Major League play out in Baltimore?
No, because they started winning.
Because they have the freaking cardboard cutout in the clubhouse. And so what do? You wreck the chemistry.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the equivalent. Oh, no. I can't say it. This is like, okay, I'll say it. This is like Jake Taylor getting moved midway through that movie.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I get it. Like they played that last game of their last homestand, and they're like, oh, this could be Trey Mancini's last game in Baltimore. And I was like, why? They're winning. Keep him. You have to keep the dude.
You got to.
Then of course they go and send him to Houston, who gave up Jose Siri to the Rays. That's all they had to do.
That's
to
it.
Get Trey Mancini. You let somebody else come in and do your dirty work for you, so you don't have to. And that's how the Astros stay rich.
That's right, and that's how they keep winning.
Yep.
Here's the problem: is this Trey Mancini deal puts Houston in a new category of dangerous, and then they add Christian Vasquez, who's solid. Oh, I'm so angry.
They actually have a catcher who can hit now.
I know.
Like this is the thing: is that I've seen the Astros over the last 3 weeks turn into a new level of themselves, and they are scary, Brig. They're a scary, scary team. I'm not surprised the Mariners lost 6 out of 7 against them over the last week.
Well, the Yankees have not played well against them either, bro.
Yeah, nobody has. Except for the A's.
Kill people. Yeah, what? I know. It's like they were like, let's get who are we going to send to Oakland? I'd rather take 3 days off. Yeah, me too. Here's what we're going to do. Get the middle schoolers out. There's got to be a JUCO around here, Insane, man.
It's so weird. But
Frankie Montas is a big one. Yeah, they traded from the A's to the Yankees. Big 6-player deal. This is not a moment too soon for the Yankees. Not just because Montas is great, but because our pitching is taking a beating on the injury list. So we just need it, and it's good. I'm honestly disappointed we haven't pulled more than one guy through this trade. I mean, we have a couple of other people, but yeah, it's just, it feels a little bit low key. They have picked up like Benny, Frankie, and who's the other Trevino? Now there's 2 Trevinos.
Yeah, there's 2 Trevinos on the Yankees. It was I think he was a reliever. There's another pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou Trevino.
Lou, that's right, Lou. Anyway,
so that's a big deal. But so those are the deals that have already been done at this point on Monday night. Is there anybody you're surprised has not been moved yet?
Yeah, Joey Gallo.
So I did see they were trying to send him to a small market. I wonder if that's a request on his part. He's like, I'm done with the big market stuff.
I would be not at all surprised. Wilson Contreras hasn't moved. I don't understand.
That's the one who surprised me because there's no way he's going to come back.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Like we were talking to Denise about it just today. We were texting and she's like, well, they're asking a whole lot for him. It's like, of course they are. He's one of the best catchers in the game. They ought to be asking a lot for him. But at the same time, you got to have realistic expectations. You got to move the dude so you don't lose everything because of him.
Yep, I agree. The other one is Jock Peterson. I know he's on the move all the time, and he's like continually bouncing around. I think he got a concussion the other day, and I think that's the only reason he hasn't been moved. Honestly, I could see him staying in San Francisco. I can see him moving somewhere else. But JD Martinez, his name gets thrown around a lot. He hasn't moved.
Yeah, you're right.
That's been a really interesting one to watch because, again, you got to wonder why. Somebody the other day wrote an article about deals that should get done but won't. It was really interesting. It proposed moving Rafael Devers to Milwaukee in this sideways, crazy 3-team deal or whatever. And it was just interesting. But we'll see. See what happens.
I don't think that they should move Devers, though. Like, if the Red Sox want to win at all in the next couple of years, they got to have Bogarts and Devers. They got to keep those guys.
I agree.
I've seen a lot of stuff about Devers getting moved. I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Unless they're absolutely selling on the next 5 years. Just going to punt, right?
Just punt. You're just like, whatever. Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. David Bednar out of Pittsburgh is another one that I would like to see move. He's a relief pitcher, closer, whatever, but I don't know.
Well,
maybe
this is the thing is, so he has club control through 2026 with him, and that's a big deal, especially with a closer or a reliever like him.
Totally,
like, a team could bring him in and have him for the next few years at cheap, and be.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these contender teams picks him up.
Yeah. It cracks me up seeing Nelson Cruz on these lists, though. Like teams are like, "Yeah, we need Nelson Cruz." Like, you don't want Nelson Cruz. The dude's 42. Yeah, and his bat is slowing down.
Yeah. What bat?
Yeah. Ramon Laureano is one that surprises me with Oakland, the way that they've been selling everybody off. I mean, since like last December, right? I'm surprised that Laureano is still there because he is a really good player. Yes, he got popped for PEDs last year, and he's taken a step back since then for obvious reasons. But he's still a good player. Like if you have him as your fourth outfielder, you're good.
Yeah.
Right.
I asked my buddy Mike Farnes about the Red Sox, who they're going to get rid of and what they're going to do, and he fully expects Nate Eovaldi to be moved. And I would just die if Nate Eovaldi showed up in the Bronx. Like I would love everything about that. This is his last year on his 4-year deal. It's a $68 million deal. Just do it. Just do it. Then we get Benny and Eovaldi. It just brings me so much joy. Anyway, that's
the Bronx Red Sox.
Shut up right now. You take that back. You wipe that dirty, rotten word right out of your mouth. I cannot believe you just said that.
There's a whole long list, Brig. We've talked about this. It's a thing.
I know.
But hey,
don't say those words together.
All right, I won't. Okay, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to go through our emoji tiers.
The None Other Sports Podcast is the home of sports talk for everyone. Every other week, you can catch David and Jason as they talk about all things sports, from current events to classic moments and everything in between. You can find the None Other Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, and more. please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.
Welcome back, baseball family. So we're going to get into this month's emoji tiers. For those of you new to the show or new to the concept, we do this instead of power rankings because we don't want to go 1 through 30 because it's a lot of work and just like we don't want to. So what we do is we have 5 tiers. We have the diamond is the top. We have the heart is the second because those are teams we love. And then the third tier, the middle tier, is a question mark because we're not really sure about what these teams are, who they are. And then we have the thumbs down as our fourth tier, and the bottom tier is the poop emoji because, as we say, if your team is in the poop emoji, your team is poop.
Yep.
So, okay, Brig, go ahead and lead us off. Get us started with your diamond tier.
Okay, so first of all, if those of you who have been watching and have seen us do this before, you'll notice that there's more than 3 teams. There are more than 3 teams, I should say,
We
in
decided
this
to flex
category.
this month.
We decided to expand the roster spots for the trade deadline. And anyway, my diamond is Mets, Braves, Dodgers, Astros. That's who I've got in my diamond. The Mets beat the Yankees twice, back to back. The Braves are they in first place now? Are they flip-flopping still?
Not yet.
Okay, they're dang close.
They're really close.
The Dodgers are undisputed. The Astros are undisputed and also whooped up on the Yankees. That's a tease.
That's a tease. Yeah. So
what about
my
you? What's your diamond?
I still have the Yankees in there because until they go on like a terrible losing streak to like until they lose a series to a bad team, I'm gonna keep them there. Like they're losing series to good teams, right?
Yeah.
Which is gonna happen. You're gonna have
Sure.
relatively speaking, they're going through a bad stretch right now, but they are still the team to beat. They have the best record in the American League. I feel like there's something to be said for that. I've also got the Dodgers and then the Astros. Like I said, the Astros are a new level of themselves.
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid of the Astros. I know their faults, but they do an amazing job compensating for those and not letting them get the best of them. Because I'll tell you, the other day it was on Sunday, Odorizzi was pitching a gem against the Mariners, and he had 91 pitches going into the 8th inning. And I texted Jewel, I was like, okay, it's like he'll either come out for one batter or he's not going to come out at all. Once you get to that bullpen, it's time to do the damage. Odorizzi comes out, said, all right, here we go. It's Stanek. Tied the game up right there. Tied it up 2-2. Mariners ended up losing because they had a rookie come in and face Jordan Alvarez.
No.
Yeah, that'll
get you.
Yeah, afterwards I was like, wow, he sure was not put in a situation to succeed there, was he? That was ugly.
No. Yeah, you're right.
So, but anyway, no, the Astros are dangerous. They're freaking scary. So
it's insane.
Like if we had them like level, I've got them as my best team in baseball right now.
Me too.
So,
me too.
Right, who do you have for your heart tier right now?
Okay, so let me just address the Yankees are here. And the Yankees are here because I need them to beat those other teams because they're playoff primers. And if they can't win in the regular season against those teams, then I'm worried. I'm not saying it's impossible. All I'm saying is I'm worried about what they're going to look like come October. I don't want to worry. I'm upset that I have to worry. It hurts my feelings that I'm worrying. But at the same time, I need you to do better against really great teams. It's okay. You can beat bad teams all day long. Fine. Do it. Congratulations. Mazel tov. All that. But when it comes to playing the Astros and the Mets and other teams of that caliber, if you can't throw down and make it a battle, then I start to worry. And now here they are. They're in my heart tier. Moving on. We've got the Brewers here. The Padres are here. Twins are here. Cardinals here. Blue Jays have been on another doing well streak. I'm not going to say it's a tear, but they've been doing better. The Mariners are really impressive. Cannot figure out where they came from, although Brad keeps trying to tell me he has evidence, but it just happened, and it's very exciting. And then Cleveland. Cleveland's baseball team is here, too.
Okay. Mine is very similar. I've got the Brewers, Padres, Twins, Cardinals. I've got the Mets here, just because they have struggled lately. The fact that they've given up ground to say that it's because they've given up ground to the Braves is like weird to me, just because the Braves have been so good and won so many games out of like such a stretch that it's like, okay, nobody's going to be able to hold any ground against that, right? But the Yankees did earlier this season.
Yeah.
The Red Sox went on that incredible run for what was it, a month and a half, and the Yankees didn't give up any ground. If the Mets are who we thought they were, they would not have given up nearly as much ground to the Braves as they did. So,
Well, and that's why I put the Braves in my diamond, because they deserve it.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is like I wasn't sure if I was going to do 4 teams. I wanted to stick with 3 in my diamond, just because I feel like it is like the elite level, right? Like I feel like the Braves and the Mets are both right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I still feel like the Yankees are there. Anyway, then I've got the Blue Jays. They've been playing really well again lately since they fired their manager. I've got the Braves, talked about them, and the Mariners. I'm going to probably have them there for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The Mariners are a good team.
Yeah,
this is the team that we were expecting going into the season. We talked about it with Samson. He's like, I don't know what it is. Like, they've been so bad. And it's like, and my thing is like, but they're not.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the same thing you brought up with the Yankees, though, is that they've got to be able to beat these teams in this heart tier. They've got to be able to beat the Blue Jays. They got to be able to beat the Mets. They did. They won a series against the Mets in Queens, which was outstanding.
True.
And the thing is, like, I don't think they could be able to beat the Braves. They lost 6 of 7 to the Astros over the last week. They're probably going to lose 2 out of 3 against the Yankees this week. So they're definitely a step down from those teams. But man, I feel like they're a playoff team. They're obviously a wild card team given the division that they're in, but they would be in the lead over the Twins right now in the Central.
Yeah, they would.
Got a better record. So there's that going for them.
Yeah.
I think they are a middling playoff team that's going to get in and get to the division series and lose.
Yeah,
that's what I think is going to happen this year. Is that they're going to end up matching up against either the Yankees or the Astros.
That's right.
They're going to get run right out of the stadium. So,
yep.
I'm happy with the Mariners though, because this is progress, and that's what we've needed this year. We needed progress.
Dude, this is not just progress. This is insane.
Last year was progress, right?
Yeah, last year was progress. This year is proof.
This year is the next step up.
Yeah, this is proof.
Yeah.
I dig it.
All right, who you have for your question mark?
So my question mark is thinned out pretty hard this month, because I only had 5 teams. Usually there's 8. Giants, Phillies, Rays, Rangers, Orioles. Honestly, the Rays are here because of the Kiermaier and Zunino situation. Had they not been here, I might have kept them up a little higher. But their entire squad is a mash unit, and then they lose those 2 incredibly difficult players to lose. And it's just now I genuinely don't know what we're going to get from Tampa Bay. Baltimore, this is a huge promotion for them, and they deserve it. The Mancini situation might change this next month. We'll see what happens. I hope not, because I want to see them succeed. And then the Giants, their Giants are on, they're falling. This is where the Phillies belong. I can't believe we're talking about the Rangers in this category, just to be honest with you. But they belong there, and that's bizarre. There you go.
Okay. All right. My question mark. I have the Giants, Phillies, Rays as well. I also have the Orioles there I would love to have put them in my heart tier.
Yeah.
But with the Trey Mancini deal, I'm like, I don't know who they are anymore. I don't know who they're going to be going forward, because I don't know what role exactly he played in the clubhouse. And I think we're going to find out in the next 5 days.
Oh, show.
How this team plays. I've got the White Sox, Phillies, Red Sox, and the Marlins as well. And I've got the Guardians here. And I have the Rays, like I said, all the same reasons. The exact same reasons you did. Like, they have had so many decimating injuries that I feel like it's going to catch up to them. This is the time. Zunino is, I maintain this, I say it all the time, he's the reason that pitching staff, a big part of the reason that pitching staff is as good as it is. Yes, those guys are talented, but you've got to have a catcher who can manage the pitching staff, and he does an outstanding job. The Red Sox, I'm going to give them a chance still, just because they did go and win so many games over such a short period of time. that they shot up the standings, shot up the wild card, that they could figure things out and do that again. But I don't know if they've lost too many guys now with trades, or they're going to.
And injuries.
And injuries that all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, well, okay, season's over, selling in the next couple hours, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. Marlins, I've felt all season the Marlins were a better team than what they've been playing. They have one of the best pitchers in Alcantara, and I'm surprised they don't win more games, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's what I have for my question mark tier. You want to go down to your thumbs down, Brig? You ready?
Yeah, I expanded my thumbs down tier a little bit this month as well. I'm happy to say that the Reds are up into this category. Let's just acknowledge their promotion. The Angels, blah. Rockies, blah. The Red Sox deserve to be here, and now they're moving guys out. So this is great. The Marlins, this is the same thing you were saying, but I just put them in one rank down. Never know what you're going to get from the White Sox, but it's repeatedly disappointing. The Tigers should be in the poop emoji. I could easily move them down, but I can't stomach moving Javi Baez and Miggy out of or into the poop tier. It's brotherly love or whatever. D-backs, Pirates, Cubs all make sense.
Okay.
They're not poop bad, but they're close.
They're really close.
Yeah.
So my thumbs down is my smallest tier, aside from Diamond. I've got the Rockies, Reds, Rangers, and D-backs. Having watched the Rangers up close for a couple series pretty close together, the Rangers are not a good team. Like, they have some offensive pop, but man, their pitching is so bad. Pitching is so bad. The Reds got a promotion. I'm happy about that. Good for them. A way to go. There's a couple guys coming from the Mariners system who are probably going to be at the big league level next year with them, because who else you got, right?
Yep, for sure.
The Rockies are bad. They're not poop bad, but they're bad. The D-backs, same thing, are not good. And did I tell you? I think I told you this the other day, that the Nats are so bad that they made the D-backs look like a playoff team.
Yeah,
when they were in town. My goodness, that was unreal. I could not believe how much fun it was to be at that game.
That's awesome.
It was a good time.
That's awesome.
All right, Brig.
So
what do you have in the poop tier?
Nats, A's, Royals. Duh. That's it.
There you go.
It just makes perfect sense. And the Royals solidified their position here with the Benintendi trade. I'm surprised they aren't moving more people around. Well, I'm not. I'm not surprised. They've got that young talent, and the fans love those guys. So you got to keep them there. I think Benny was expendable, and they could get some genuine return on that trade. But they're just bad. The A's are unreal bad, and the Nats are even worse. So supplies.
There you go. So I have the Angels, Nats, Royals, Cubs, Tigers, Pirates, and A's as well.
That's what
I
I
really expanded this one out because I feel like this is the team. Like we talked about it last month, the sludge is settling at the bottom. These are the teams that have settled. Like the Tigers are way worse than I thought that they were going to be, and I feel bad because of Miggy and, like you said, Javi Baez. Both those guys deserve to be on better teams. Javi Baez has not been his normal self this year, but at the same time, I don't know. It's weird. The Angels continue to be terrible. The Cubs just cannot figure out how to win games. I saw a stat today that said they're 0-50 if they're trailing by 2 or more runs after the 7th inning. Like, that's a team that doesn't fight.
Wow. 0-50 if 2 or more runs through the 7th?
If they're down by 2 or more after the 7th inning.
Oh,
yeah, that's a team that doesn't fight.
That's bad.
Yeah, to me, that's a managerial issue. I like David Ross, but that's a managerial problem to me.
Yeah,
but
too.
The Royals, like you said, the Benintendi trade. I'm surprised they haven't moved Whit Merrifield yet. He hasn't had a great season, but at the same time, it could just be a change of scenery that gets him somewhere, and he does.
But they want him to be. They want him to be the thing that happens.
Well, he was on the block last year, though. They asked the Mariners for Julio Rodriguez. And I wonder if they're still asking way too much, and that's why they haven't moved him.
Maybe, but that's because they believe in him. They believe. They wouldn't ask for a lot if they didn't have faith.
Yeah, you're true. You're right.
I'm true. I am true.
You are. Stay true, Brig. Stay gold, Pony Boy.
Big
The
facts.
Pirates belong here now because they've sunk to the bottom of the NL Central, which is baffling to me. That they've just been. I mean, they're 2-8 in their last 10, and that's just horrendous. They've lost 7 in a row. Yuck. Poor Pirates. I saw a guy walking into Circle K the other day with a sweet Pirates hat. Dude, that's an amazing hat. Too bad they stink. But anyway, let us know what you think about the emoji tiers. Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Did we put your team too high or too low? Let us know what you think by jumping in the mailbag on baseballtogether.com or hitting the link down in the description. Brig, tell them where they can get shirts.
Don't forget at 9plusus.com. That's NINEPLUSUS.com. 9plusus.com. That is our merch site. I'm wearing my baseball and chill t-shirt. It's part of the pop culture collection. Brad's wearing his Perfecto t-shirt. It's very exciting. Like we said, we're going to be dropping some discounts for Dia del Mago. That'll be August 15th. Stay tuned for that.
Yes. And another thing I found out from my nieces and nephews when I was on vacation a few weeks ago, water bottle stickers are a very big thing. We have them. Jump on the shop and you can get them. You can slap them all over your favorite water bottle.
Put it everywhere.
Put it everywhere. Also, jump on to baseballtogether.com. You can watch podcasts, you can listen to podcasts, you can read about baseball. For the rooters, you heard about me teasing an article that I'm going to write here pretty soon. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be very fun. I'm not going to give away too much, but it'll be coming up, and I'll let you know when it's there and what it is. But baseball family, thank you again so much for joining us. We will catch you next week.